Hey, welcome to Listen.
Listen, listen, listen. Welcome.
Welcome to Listen with Tania and Win, and to episode number 16, the season
Amazing.
finale.
Oh my gosh. How did we get here?
One Tuesday at a time, child.
Was
I
that?
can't even.
Yes, there is that.
16 weeks, I can't even. It's like, oh my gosh. Thank you,
Amazing.
Lord. Whew, whew. So, thank you. If this is your first time tuning in, my name is Tania Briscoe Easterling, and I'm coming to you straight out of Texas. Who are you? Who you be?
And I am her cousin sister, Win Briscoe. And if you watch last week's episode on fathers, you would know we are cousin sisters because our dads are identical twins.
Yes, yes, and we're gonna get to that. We're gonna recap about last week in a minute, but if you haven't already, make sure that you're liking our page. Make sure that you have your notifications on, so you'll know every time we go live, or even every time we post something. Because even though this is the last episode of the season, doesn't mean we're not going to be posting stuff. And you won't. It doesn't mean you won't be hearing from us over the summer.
Right.
So just make sure your notifications are set. Thank you for every like, every comment, every share. Right, When
I just am floored, to be very honest with you, at the level of engagement and support and the testimonies that we're hearing from people about how they are being blessed from this modern day ministry, as we call an online show. I'm in awe. I am in awe because, again, it was not something we desired to do. We did not want to share our lives on social media to this degree, and it was something that God, told us to do. Right? We were being obedient, and who would have known that, again, our obedience and taking us out of our comfort zone, that God would use us as a vessel to bless so many other people. So I am still in awe of this entire few months and what has transpired, and our hashtag ripple effect and how it has truly impacted so many lives. And we've gotten, over the 16 or the 15 episodes, I would say,
right.
is thousands of views combined. And
isn't that crazy?
I can't even put my mind around it, to be honest with you.
No. And so thank you guys even for every replay,
Yeah.
And for every share, because it's proven you guys are watching us even after we've gone live. You're still watching, like days later, you're still catching us. So this summer, while we're taking a break to spend some time with Jesus to get the next season ready for you,
Yeah.
do a binge on these past 15 episodes. I mean, truly, there's so much wisdom, right? So
the
many
content
nuggets.
is rich. Each
So
episode
good.
has amazing content, and the ones with and without the guest. I mean,
Right,
it's amazing.
right. So let us know. You can post in the comments of any of the episodes, but if you happen to be in this one, post in the comments if you have suggestions for topics for us. But if there's something you'd love for us to discuss next season, let us know. It would be great if it starts with the letter F. But if it doesn't, it's still okay. We'll work with it. We'll believe God for a synonym
Yes.
with the letter F.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So super excited about today's episode. And so, do you want to recap a little bit of last week's before we go forward?
Do we want to recap last week, or we just want to wait till we get to that towards the? We just want to jump right in. We just want to jump right in the God moment.
I do. Yes, you go. Because again, I was still trying to narrow down. Tania, we only lets me have one God moment per show. And there's a lot that happens in 7 days. So let me tell you,
it is hard sometimes. It's like, ooh, which one am I going to share? So I wrote a devotional for a devotional writing contest several months ago. That in itself was a God thing because it
Mhm.
won. It was one of the two winners. It was a tie. And God told me, well, you're not done because you're going to keep doing devotionals. You got the book coming. Yeah, we got the book coming, but you're going to keep doing devotionals. So God has committed me to at least one devotional a month. And I'm happy to say He blessed me to come out with one to yesterday for the month of June. So it is titled "Got Lazy Faith." And it is truly uh, God speaking to me. And he just so happened to tell me I should share it with everybody else. But just so you know, when you read it, hopefully you read it, you get to check it out. We'll post the link in the comments here in a moment. And
Mhm.
hope you'll get to check it out. Let me know your feedback. I'd love to hear if it ministered to you, what God spoke to you about it, about your own life, because it's so easy in this summer, still in a slight COVID pandemic state, to be lazy and comfortable in so many areas. And God is like, no, I never called your faith to be lazy. I never called your
Mhm.
faith to be comfortable.
Right.
It still needs to be exercised. It's still a muscle that needs to be worked out. So that's my God moment from the week. It's just such a blessing to be able to get that out, for that to be poured out of me on my website. What
And
about
it's
you?
phenomenal. Y'all go seriously. I
Thank
know
you.
she's downplaying it. The first one was amazing, and the second one is also. So she's always going to downplay the devotionals that God has given her. But she has a gift in writing and being that conduit and that vessel and letting God use her. So I'm going to hype her
Thank
up,
you.
even though she's downplaying herself.
Thank you. That is very sweet.
You are welcome. So that is amazing. God moment and devotion is amazing. My God moment. Well, I have about 15 at least since last Tuesday. One,
Is there one?
there is one.
Is there
I'm
one?
gonna I'm gonna have to say this process of release and downsizing that God has specifically said my past can't meet my future
Yeah.
has been amazing. This process has been amazing. So I would say my favorite God moment of this last 6 days has been one particular time downsizing my belongings from my retail store and how that has blessed so many future entrepreneurs and
I love
existing
it.
entrepreneurs and how God had just put things to the side since I closed the store years ago and just held them there. He never
Yeah.
allowed me to use them, and he
Right.
hasn't allowed me to release them until now. Isn't that amazing?
I love God's timing.
Isn't it?
His
Because with
timing.
one of them, with just getting the word to hear from a mama pator, as we call her,
I
mama
love
pator,
it.
and that her daughter in college wanted a particular type of business start, and it was the items and the supplies that I had everything for just sitting in storage for my business supplies that she just could just take and start with everything I gave her to be able to make money immediately. And it was exactly what she wanted to do to help fund her way through college. And I cried that night just thinking, God, you knew, you knew that this was years ago when I closed that store, and you had me set these items to the side just for this young lady in college in 2021 who I have still yet to meet. I only know her
Yeah.
mother, and that was the exact type of business she wants to start to fund her way through college. And I myself paid my way through college, and I just shed tears. Like, just the thought of being a vessel is overwhelming enough, but to know the intricate details, how God is being so meticulous in this release process with me, is my God moment because he's wasting nothing, Tania.
Not a
Nothing.
thing. Does
It's
he ever? Does
I
he
mean,
ever?
the very thing you need to release is the very thing someone else is praying for.
Right. Yes, T.
The
Lente. Yes,
concept.
timing is so
Yes.
important. And I love how if we even break it down, he had you buy it for
Come
your
on.
store, but he
Listen,
was like, unbeknownst to you, I've already purposed it for
for
even
someone else.
beyond you. Right?
Listen, 10 years plus, it sat in storage, brand new. I showed the mother brand new supplies that had never been opened.
Oh
And she
my
was,
God.
I mean, who does that? Who does that?
God.
Thousands of dollars in supplies for this particular business just sitting there, boxed up, honey. Gave her everything, the supplies, the boxes, the equipment, everything. Here you go. God bless you. Can't take a dollar for it. Have a blessed day. Go be blessed.
I love how God works. I love how God works. And while you're sitting there sharing that God moment, and you had told me this earlier because obviously we talk a lot offline,
Yes.
which one day we'll have to put some of our
Very little.
offline conversations on so our listeners can even join in those moments. But
Yes.
when you told me about it a few days ago, I didn't even think until just now how God had me do the exact same thing with all of my jewelry making supplies.
There you go.
When we moved out of the house in 2016, we had a huge yard sale. I had a huge yard sale, but a woman pulled up. She saw the jewelry supplies on the table. She was like, well, how much for everything? And I was like, you want everything? And she was like, well, my sister is moving here.
Yes.
She's been dreaming of doing her own jewelry. She's like, so how much for everything? She was like, will you hold it for me? Let me call her. She calls her on the cell phone. In the time it takes the two of them to have a conversation, because she had to come from around the corner in the neighborhood to come over, God told me, go back in the house, box up everything except a few tools. Keep
Mm-hmm.
a few tools for yourself. He said, but give her everything.
It's the
And
ripple
I
effect.
literally just handed it boxes. And she was just like,
That's
I was
it.
like, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm doing what I was told to do. I was
Yes.
told to bless you with this. Here it is. And I had forgotten all about that. That was
And you know
2016.
what's amazing to that was all of the jewelry making supplies that I had bought over the years, I sent to you.
Right.
Remember, so
Right.
she was blessed. The chain effect, because the supplies you gave her are supplies I gave you, which
Yes.
I had from years of making jewelry. And
Yes.
so, as y'all can tell, we
She
love
got yours,
accessories. If
and
y'all
then
don't know
ones
that
that I
yet,
added on to it because I had
come on.
added on.
She got the blessing upon the blessing from the Briscoe girls. She
I
just
love
didn't
it.
even realize it, how it had
No,
multiplied.
but I love how God works, because He's like, hey, I'm telling you to get it, and
Yes,
you think it's for you. And yes, it's for you for a season,
temporary.
right? I love how everything's on loan.
Mm, mm,
Oh,
mm.
those were good God moments.
Absolutely. The story of releasing, right? And hopefully now when she gets to that point, and then hey, it's blessing somebody else. It's that continual ripple. It's
Yes,
amazing.
yes. So if you're watching and you have a ripple effect story, or even just a release moment that you want to share, type it in the comments. We would love to keep chatting about that throughout our time together today. So last the last 8 episodes, right? Eight
Wow.
episodes. Eight
7.
episodes. Seven.
Yes. Can you
Ooh,
imagine? First of
they
all,
were fire, first of all.
all of them. All of
All
them.
of them.
I don't
All
know
of
that
them.
I have a favorite. And I was wondering because we talked about this on the last flashback gumbo. We chose, we tried to at least, right? We
Right.
tried to at least pick what was a favorite to us. And so of that episodes 1 through 6, and then the gumbo was 7. I think obviously I think I chose freedom, faith, food and fun, I think was a little bit of all of those. You guys go back and watch those first episodes.
Yes.
Yeah, but this time, oh gosh, from
No.
foundation forward, honey, there is not a single one that I can select out. Especially not choosing our mothers and fathers episode.
Right.
I don't have one. I think it has been every week. Honestly,
They
it's
all
great.
run a tie for me. There is
That's
not
it.
one favorite in these last 7 episodes. It
No.
is just like all every week was truly powerful and fun, and so impactful,
Yeah.
truly impactful. So episode 8, like you said, was foundation.
Whew.
Mama Sanchez,
She came out of the gate on fire. Came out
shout
of the
out,
gate.
shout out to Yvonne Sanchez.
Mama Sanchez.
If you have not had the opportunity to watch episode 8,
Yeah.
Foundation,
Yeah.
aka Get Your Purpose. Get Your Purpose.
Yeah.
Oh
Whew.
my goodness. That was so good. So good. I know.
She was the launching point for this second half of our season because honestly, that fire of foundation and that base of that,
Yeah.
it was the catalyst for everything else.
Yeah. Yeah. And she was so great. I know her primary scripture was Psalms 139:16. And that says, Your eyes saw me when I was formless. All of my days were written in your book and planned before a single one of them began. So, just talking about the importance of knowing your purpose,
Right.
How to seek God to find your purpose if you don't know it, right? And that you're never too old. You're never too old to discover God's purpose for your life.
Not at all. Not at all. I was just, that episode I spent just rocking and the amen corner because she was on point, and the importance of having a foundation, and the importance of those that you are in contact with having a firm foundation, having a real concise understanding of God's purpose for your life is vital. And that's what that entire episode was about. It doesn't matter your age. Can you say with an assurity that you are aware of God's purpose in your life? What did God purpose you to do in this earth? If you can't articulate that, trust me, connect with Mama Sanchez and find your God-given purpose in this earth, because it is not just vital for you, it is vital for those that are around you. It is vital for your legacy. This ripple effect is so crucial because there are so many people who are just aimlessly wandering around like a kite with no firm foundation and understanding of their purpose, and they're just out here, Tania, just aimlessly.
Right. And time is of the essence. Like every day that we are blessed to wake,
yes,
why wouldn't you want to spend it fulfilling your purpose?
Yes.
Right? It's just like I wish that God he would have given her to me in my life 20 plus years ago.
Come on. Come on.
But like Wynn said, connect with her. We're going to put her information in the comments, her contact info, her website, her Facebook page. She has some amazing anointed workshops that God has given her steps on how to help you discover your God-given purpose. So I am a participant. I personally have gone through it and am excited that God gave me my purpose. He showed me my core words, right? Like she was talking about those words, those adjectives, those things that we do everything from that point. And faith Faithful is one of my core words. Hence
Mm,
why God keeps having me write and focus and do everything
on faith.
from a point of faith. God
Yeah.
help me. But I love how she even talked to we even talked about the negative emotions and the hijackers to our purpose. Do you remember that?
Yes, yes, yes. People, places, and things, honey. What are they that are hijacking you from your purpose?
Right, right.
Mm,
And how to recognize them, right? To be willing to hold everything up to God and be like, okay, is this what I'm supposed to be doing?
right.
Is this you? Right? And if it's not,
It's got to
then
go. It's got to go. We
keep
talked
it moving.
about the God, right? The things that are God works and the things that are good works, and
Yeah,
how sometimes we get caught up and busy and consumed with things that are good works. Yes, they may be great. You may
yeah,
be helping the community. You know, it could be good causes, but are they God works, God specific directions and instructions for you at this time in your life? If
yeah,
it is not, then it's a distraction. And who is waiting on you to get into your purpose? What is being held up because you are not in alignment? These things are vital questions that we talked about in that episode. Please go back and watch that. Please.
yeah. So good, so good. We could sit here and talk all day
Mm-hmm.
about that one episode,
Yeah.
but it only got gooder. Yes, I'm using an Ebonics word. It
Yes.
only got gooder from there.
Yes, it's true. That is the
We
truth.
went from foundation into family episode 9.
Whew, with the moms.
That was the
Woo.
month of May. That was the week rather of Mother's Day. And we had our moms, the
Yes.
amazing Ann and Mary Ann Briscoe, on the show.
Mm. Well, if you haven't seen the episode of Moms, the Mother's Day edition, well,
I'm just saying, I told my mom, I was like, I'm not surprised that you all's episode is one of the highest viewed.
yes,
I'm not surprised because I was like, y'all are awesome. Y'all are awesome.
they kept it
Oh,
real and relevant, right on down to, you outside the store. That was one of the best stories I've ever heard in my life. Um, yeah.
yeah, no. Thank you. It helped to make me into the woman I am today.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's more people that need sandals in their lives. It would make them
Saying,
the
I'm
best
just
person that they could
saying.
be.
Yeah. Sandals and a 30-second beating.
Come
Yes.
on.
Yes. So I remember with our moms, one of the things we talked about that really stuck with me was we were asking them, hey, when you're raising a child, is it
Mm.
more important to be their parent or
Or
be
their
their
friend.
friend?
Yeah.
And it was interesting at their answers,
Mhm.
to that.
A little
Uh,
peppering of both is what I discerned from that, but
mhm.
you know, more of a parent with moments of friendship.
Right, right. And I love how they said that will change with seasons, as your children are growing up, and to be flexible with that in the seasons, that there will be times where it's like, no, 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 we're in full parent mode,
Right. Right.
and then there'll be other times where it's like, hey, I can be that friend, with boundaries. Right? Because we also were asking them about, hey, is it ever okay to call your parents by their first name?
Never.
Oh my
Never. And the comments, we loved the comments. Everyone was unanimous with the never in the
never
comments.
ever, never ever,
Never.
never ever.
No. Not to live and tell about it anyway. Never. Never. So that episode was so revealing to me because it let us know how our mothers really value their role as mothers, how they
Yeah.
understand us as daughters, um, through their lives, the things that they have experienced, their takeaways. So, if there's anyone out there that is a mom or desires to be a mother, that episode is full of so much wisdom. It was amazing. It was amazing. There was a lot of takeaways. And we asked them some really good questions, and they got through the most of them. But
Right.
those takeaways were great. They absolutely were.
Yes, and we will definitely be having them back on the show,
Absolutely.
separate from our dads at
Yeah.
some point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love how even neither one of them even talked about, honestly, they were very humble in that they really didn't share that both of them are pastors' wives.
Right.
So they juggled raising multiple children,
Mhm.
right? Careers
Right.
and ministry.
Right. Right. I mean, they held it down, right? And
Right.
trying to balance the men in their lives who were called by God into ministry, which is no small feat. And it's not something that they signed up for when they first got married. It wasn't like they married pastors, that came later. And so
Right.
they had to evolve with their husbands, some, and some, it's still a process to just be understanding and say, okay, I'm going to go alongside on this journey with you, not knowing what that means at all, and really what it means to each pastor's wife is completely different, because everybody is unique, like a snowflake, on how they take things on in their lives, and how old are their children at the time, and where they are in their family life, and
Right.
where they are in their careers. It's just so many different phases and stages. So our moms are like truly our heroes in that, because we just have people just being moms, which is more than enough. But then to take on the roles that they took on, still working in jobs and still managing homes and managing our fathers and the kids, was just I mean, it was
You
like
said
a three-ring
managing
circus.
You said managing our fathers. I love that. Oh,
Oh,
sorry. That's why I was
absolutely.
chuckling. It's so
Yeah.
true.
I mean, even our father's schedules alone at certain points was crazy. And so
Bananas.
just where do they need to be at any given time? You know what I mean? Like trying to manage that is the ultimate Barnum and Bailey circus, three-ring circus,
Oh my God.
trying to conduct that, right? So
Right.
kudos to them for being the ringmasters that they are and were, and they did it in style, honey.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes. Fashionistas through
Okay.
and
We
through
we we know
at
the
every point in
conversation is
time.
the conversation out here of the women wearing bonnets outside the house. Negative. Okay, because honey, these women stepped out in style and was managing 5 to 6 different lanes at the same time. Okay,
Right.
so step it up, ladies. Yeah,
Just
you
to
heard it
go to the
here
grocery.
on the show.
I can remember just to go to the grocery store. Like my mom would get done up. And I'm like,
Come
we're
on.
just going to the store. She's like, you never know who you're gonna see
All
at
right.
the store.
And
She's
it's
like,
a
oh,
reflect it reflects on them. It reflects on it's multiple layers of reflection.
yes,
And thank goodness that has passed on to us, because you don't see us
yes.
out of the house looking any old kind of way. I know my mother seldom
Mm,
wears sneakers. That's not even her deal. She's like, she'll be in a pair of
exactly.
flats or sandals. So it's a great episode for women to just really know how to embrace and move forward in their lives. Our mom are, they're in their 70s, so they've lived a long life, through so many decades of change and really so many stages and phases. So I highly encourage, men as well, because they drop some nuggets in there that will definitely be helpful. But for the ladies,
Yes. For
grab them while you can.
future Mother's Day gifts, because it's already passed.
Yeah.
You got a whole year
Yes.
because it comes around the same time. So
So chocolate and diamonds. I'm gonna just give you that hint. That is a necessity, right there. The mothers elaborate.
yes. So that was episode 9, and from there,
Yeah.
From family, we shifted straight into focus.
One of my favorites.
Episode 10 on focus. Oh my goodness. Why was it one of your favorites? Why?
Because there's so many people out here unfocused.
So true.
Can I be real? There are so many people out here unfocused. And I don't know at what point God gave me that phrase, the ripple effect, but I know I used it a lot during that particular show, because
you did.
When you are not focused and you are all over the place, the impact of you not being grounded or rooted or focused, or whatever words you want to use, that has a absolute determination of ending result in your journey, results in so much calamity and damage, with not just with yourself and your legacy, but those that are around you. Because when you are focused and you know where you are supposed to be and God has you, you are less of a distraction to other people.
So true.
So when you are not focused, this is God. I'm telling you, He's giving this to me, because, honey, I barely remember. But let me tell you, when you are focused, think about now how you can assist those in your lives and in your circle. When you are unfocused, how many distractions can you be in someone else's life when you are not focused?
Right. Because you're still influencing.
Come on.
Whether for good or bad.
Whether you're focused or unfocused. And think about the people that we know, Lord help them, who are not focused, who want to call, text, email, social media, carrier pigeon. They want to connect. And they always want to connect with who, Tania? People who are focused.
Of course.
Isn't that amazing? Why can't they connect with their own kind? That's the question, I guess, in the I Got Questions I should have asked back at that episode. Why do distractions always want to come and distract other people that are focused?
My answer to that question is because they too have an assignment to get us off our focus.
Ooh-wee.
So they may not even realize they're being used. Let's just be real. They may not even, they may be doing it completely innocently, but the enemy is like, I got you. I got you on this distraction. And I know that week we talked about, some of the distractions, some things that can be distractions to focus.
Right.
We talked about those of us that are type A planners, how we can get so focused on good works, but is it really something God told us to do? And man, I was an expert at that. I was a subject matter expert on that.
Weren't we all type A
all day
planners?
long?
I was a type A planner until March of this year. Danielle will tell you. 2021 March up until.
And shout out to Danielle, who is our amazing producer in the background.
Thank you, Danielle.
Such a blessing, right? But people can be distractions, ungodly soul ties.
Honey,
we went there. Distractions to our focus, social media. Absolutely. As good as it can be for some things.
Yes.
If you're not disciplined with it, it's a
rabbit
distractor.
Hole. Absolutely.
And then we even said tasks sometimes, and of course, family. Family can be a distraction.
I'm sorry for the eye roll, the deep breath, and the rock side all at the same time. James, I apologize. You got all four emotions. And, honey, talk about it.
Oh, we love family. We love family.
Okay, we do. But talk about the distractions that are family.
Yes, but I think sometimes same thing, right? It could be completely unintentional, right?
Yes.
But it's knowing and taking time, like we talked about in that episode, taking the time to ask God when the phone is ringing.
Come on.
Or when the text is coming through, when the email is popping up in the inbox,
Yes.
God, do you want me handling this right now?
Come
Do you
on.
want me talking to this person right now? You know, and like you said, sometimes you even got to go back through your contacts and
Label them,
label people as
honey.
distractions.
You better listen. Distraction one, two, three, four, five. If you can't take them out the phone, at least
Right.
label them appropriately. Know
Mhm.
what they are. Identify them by their fruit.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And we're talking, and just so that people are understanding and that we're clear, we're referring more so to those people that you know when they call,
Mm-hmm.
there's nothing positive, there's nothing productive. It's not investing in you. It's not profiting you both
Right.
emotionally, naturally, spiritually, any way to continue to have conversations with certain
Listen,
family members. That's what we're referring to, those
family
unhealthy.
and friends, folks that's close to you biologically or not. They
Yes.
could be family or friend. But let me just use this analogy God has given me just now. Imagine somebody who loves cats, and nothing against cat owners, but just imagine. You know how cats are just all over the place sometimes. Okay, dogs are they're more of a sedentary, but cats are typically all over the place. And imagine someone who always connects with you and they have that cat mentality. They're all over the place. Any ball of string, they are
Mm,
chasing after at any given moment. And they
my
have
God.
that energy because they are not focused in their lives. So every time they connect with you, and I get it, this is what I get all the time. I'm just putting it out there. I get the call. Hey, what about this? Hey, what about this? Hey, what about this? Being in business development, which is my career, when you have someone calling you and every time they call you, it's about a different, hey, what
Yes.
about this? Till
Yes.
you get to the point where you stop and say, what has God said to you? Don't call me with no more hays and no more what about this. Okay?
Call Jesus. Don't call me.
Come on. Come on. What did God specifically say to you during this season? Because that is so key to be in communion, in relationship, and in alignment continuously and sustainably. Because again, what he could have said to you last year could have very easily shifted yesterday. What is
Very
he
true.
have for you right now in this moment and your future? Are you in communication to even hear that, to know what the current directive is? Or are you still going off of 2 years ago directive, right? No. What's the current? What's the direction? And not your direction, but what God wants you to do, because it's about his focus for your life, not just your focus. Like Tania said, A type with the blinders on, and we got our heads down on what we want to do. No, no. Are
Right.
we focused on God's focus?
And grinding and hustling hard on something that God didn't even call us to do.
Come on.
But we hustling hard on it. And it's like, okay,
Mm-mm.
how's about you seek God for your purpose?
How about it?
And then this way, when you know your purpose, you can line everything else up against that purpose. Like, God,
That's it.
is this fulfilling the purpose that you gave to me? God was like, no. And it's like, okay, hard pass. We're gonna do a hard pass.
Kindly
We're gonna do a hard
decline, honey.
pass on this.
Kindly decline. And you're going to see it, because if you're seeing that resistance and you are having to grind, it's not coming with ease, it's not being lined up, then that's an indication. Those are some red flags right there to know that this is not where God has called you to be, because he does things with ease. He opens those doors when you are in obedience and alignment. So if you are getting resistance, if you don't have doors opening for you, and there is not ease, it's resistance, those are some indications that you need some clarity and you need some focus.
Right. And then even with that, we talked about the generational impact
Hmm,
of focus or the lack thereof
honey.
in the King James Version, the lack thereof. It's like, okay, so what is the ripple effect of your lack of focus?
Wow.
What, who is impacted in your household, in your life, in business,
Right.
in ministry, wherever it may be, who's impacted by your lack of focus on what
Mm,
God has told you to do
mm, 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 mm.
versus who's impacted when we are focused on what God has told us to do.
And think about it. I mean, honestly, think about the magnitude. The magnitude. It's incredible. So, the ripple effect when you think about being focused, right? And having great grandparents or parents who were focused, and now coming along and having that for ourselves, and then our legacy being focused, and we
Yes.
knowing, having this now wisdom that we have obtained, now understanding the importance of having a purpose and being focused, and what that does in the earth, we can now pass on to the next generation, right? And set them up for success.
That's
But when
right.
you don't have that, when you've got great parents, grandparents, great grandparents who just wandered through life themselves aimlessly, and you wonder why their children are aimlessly wandering through life, and they now have grandchildren who will be aimlessly wandering through life.
Yeah. It's amazing the things that we pass down.
Mm,
We don't just pass down health issues,
mm-mm.
and money and land. There are things in the spirit that we pass down.
Come on, come on.
And like I've been saying all this year, God, help me with my spiritual legacy. Help
Mm,
me to set up everything
yes,
in my life that you are calling me to pass down to our daughter and the
yeah.
next generation, and so on. It's things like that, right?
Mm, mm,
Focus.
mm.
So, one of the ways that I help to be focused is I protect my peace.
Honey.
I started it at the beginning of 2020, pre pandemic. Oh, God, help me protect my peace. Like this right here, this is my peace.
Mm, mm, mm.
You're not coming in unless God Himself is telling me to open the door and let you come in.
Mm, mm, mm.
And then I'm going to sit here and I'm going to ask Him, and how long should you stay?
Come on. What is their role in my life? What is my role in their life? How
Yes,
long shall this be?
yes. That episode was so good. That's another one we could just talk on all day. But we know
Yes.
we got to keep the train moving. But that one was that focus.
Well,
Yeah.
y'all, please go back. And if you know any distracted people, honey, you don't have to say it to them. Send them the link. It's going to
Right.
bless them. Okay? You know some folks, grown adults, some teenagers, whom anywhere in between, that
Yeah.
needs a little bit more focus in their lives. It's okay. Use us as a scapegoat. You know what?
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. Tell them, you know what? Cousin Win and Tania got a little word for you today. Send a little
Mhm.
link on focus.
You don't even have to say anything. Just be like, God told me to send this to you.
I saw this and
You
thought you
know,
would like it.
right.
Hmm. Absolutely. Let them use you.
Woo,
Let them
so
use
we went from focus into one of the benefits of focus.
you. Well,
Episode 11, favor.
honey,
Favor is fair. It's
listen.
fair.
If you don't have no favor in your life, go back to focus, go back to foundation, and get you some freedom. Okay? Y'all just take it on back. Take it on back. Take it on back. Watch this thing in
Oh,
reverse.
right. That episode 11 on favor was
Hmm.
it was so good.
Yes. Yes. I think what God had given me, the analogy, right, is that blessings was the boilerplate and favor was the overflow. And
Yeah.
understanding that when we are in the will of God, it's the blessings as the basics, right? And but when we are truly being obedient and doing what He has us to do, that favor, that overflow, that abundance, that's the sauce underneath the cup.
Mm, so good. And I
Mm,
know the scripture that we had used to base that we used for that episode was Psalms 5 and 12 in the NASB. And it
Yes.
says, "For you bless the righteous person, Lord. You surround him with favor as a shield."
Mm, mm, mm,
And
mm.
so we were just talking about, like, hey, you got favor surrounding you like a shield? Because if you don't,
Honey.
you need to do a check. You need to do a checkup.
Favor follows me. Okay. You got to ask yourself that. Is favor following you?
Right. Right. And not just following, but is it surrounding?
Come
Meaning
on.
everywhere your foot
Everywhere. A
goes,
shield.
everywhere your voice goes, everywhere it goes, favor is
Honey.
surrounded in favor.
Honey.
You know, and I know
I'm not going to run on y'all tonight, but I might.
I remember in that episode, I had shared about how when my hubby and I, when we go out to eat or we'll step into a business or just,
yes, the line.
It doesn't even have to be
out of nowhere.
It doesn't even have to be a restaurant. It's just walking into a business and it'll be empty.
Correct.
And within 5 minutes of us standing there, all of a sudden it's
turn
just,
around. You like, where did these people? I all the time I say to the clerk, where did these people come from? They're like, well, they came when you came. Well,
and we now just laugh about it, and I chuckle every single time now, and I literally say out loud, favor follows me.
Absolutely.
Favor follows me. Your business is blessed because God had me walk into your business. It's not arrogance.
No.
It's no shade. It is just totally godly confidence of, yes, favor surrounds me like a shield. And henceforth, I'm walking into your business with my favor.
Honey, it's a ripple effect of our obedience.
Yes.
That's just one of the other benefits, right? Is to just know that favor is it's a benefit of obedience. And so I encourage you out there, if you're not, doing what God has called you to do or be or do or be wherever you need to be, just please, you want some favor in your life, you need a little bit more abundance. If you are living in lack in any area of your life, understand that lack is the opposite of favor. And so what area do you need supernatural abundant favor for God to just open those doors and just allow the overflow?
Yeah. And then even though the following week we had Tisa on, but in her recap, we're going to get to that in a second. In her recap of favor, she talked about favor on Joseph's life in the Bible.
No matter what he went through, he had God's favor.
And it says it multiple times, y'all. It says it. It's literally, he was in the prison and the favor of the Lord was with him. It's like, okay, he got accused of adultery. The favor of the Lord was with him. At no point in time in all that he went through did God's favor ever leave his life.
With him.
Right.
Come on.
Right. And if that's not squad goals, I don't know what it is. Because it's like, yes, God, whatever you take me through, whatever I go through, whatever even I do in my own stupidity, please, Lord, let your hand of favor not leave my life.
The concept of it. Honey, he is a felon in the jail, and the jail prospers because he is a convict in the jail. Come on, somebody.
I mean, who gives a prisoner leadership over the other prisoners? Who does that?
Under the warden. Who does it?
Right.
Think about it. Now that's a level of favor. Whatever you need in the prison, right? Put whatever on my books, right? Whatever goodies that you need. Whatever they had back then. I don't know what they had in jail back then, but he was living it up in the jail.
Yes. Yeah. God's hand of favor was still on him. So yeah. So Tisa.
From the pit
the
to the
amazing Tisa Clark.
Oh my goodness gracious, with
episode 12.
Fellowship.
AKA Divine Connections
We some
Divine
fellows in
appointment.
this ship. We are some fellows in the ship. My goodness.
Aren't we though?
What would I do? We were just talking the other day. I was like, there is no way in the world. God obviously knew we needed these fellows in this particular ship for this season. Okay?
Yes.
Let me
Yes.
tell you.
I love how strategic he is. And so in that episode, we had the amazing guest Tisa Clark on, and we just talked about the importance of divine connections in our
Yes.
lives and allowing God to
Mm.
bring
Whew.
those divine connections and those divine appointments of people in our lives, right?
Well, the most important thing is allowing God to remove the wrong connections to make room for the divine connections.
Right. Yeah. So good. So
Because
good.
that's where it is with us, is that we're holding on to people who no longer serve us in this season. And
Hmm.
who is waiting on you, right? To be their divine connection, and you can't even make room for them because you're still holding on to someone else from a season that's long gone, honey. It's done. It's overdone.
Right. Right. But the dance card is full.
Come
Going
on.
back to the
Ain't no
1800s when
room.
they had the little dance card, dance
Yes.
card is full,
Yes.
but you got Boaz waiting over there
Honey.
to
But
dance with you forever and ever.
your connection card, you have no room. You have no room for your next set of connections because you're either distracted by the wrong connection, you got
Right.
soul ties to the wrong connection, and you out here unfocused with the wrong connections.
Right.
Okay?
Right. That was, oh, that was just so, so good.
She
Right.
hit it on the head.
And how we even talked about in that episode the difference between surface level
Mm.
connections and friendships and
Yeah.
actually going deeper,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And how it's okay to have levels of friendship. It's okay to have those people that you just hang out with,
Yeah.
right? And it's also okay that those same people that you hang out with aren't the people that you call when you need prayer and you can't pray for yourself.
Listen.
It's okay because God gives us who we need in the season that we need them.
Come on. You talk about the inner court and the outer court a lot. For me, I'm like, honey, where are you in my phone? That's real talk.
Yes.
Are you a favorite star with a number 1, 2, or 3 by it? That all I need to do is literally hit one button. That is the level that I need. Are you there?
Right.
Are you there? Or are you a distraction blowing up my phone? And nowhere near that level of access needs to be given. The divine connections that God has for us in this season is so vital, because when we are in alignment with God and we know where He wants us to be,
Right.
that's the vertical. And that allows us to be in alignment with our horizontal, where He has our assignments. And they vary, the assignments vary. Our alignment is consistent and our assignments vary. And understanding that
Yeah.
if we stay in continual alignment with God, the assignments and the seasons for people, places, and things will continuously change. We have to be open and flexible and flowing to receive and release.
Right.
Receive and release. And when God removes people from our lives, please understand it's for a reason. And when God brings people into our lives, understand it's for a reason. There is no just happenstance. There's no just
No.
randomness.
No.
That's not how God works. Everything is strategic with God.
And
So,
intentional.
absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's important, just like we talked about earlier, the importance of asking God in our focus.
Mm-hmm.
Like, show me the why with this person. The same with divine connections. Okay, God,
Mm-hmm.
why is this person in my life? Show
Right.
me why. Are they to Are they to assist me in some way, to help me grow in some way? Or did you put them in my life because I'm supposed to pour into them?
There's that.
What's their purpose? What's their purpose? Or are they just a distraction? If we ask, he will answer.
With clarity.
If we ask, but we have to be willing to ask. And sometimes that's hard, because, you know, we're people. We like people,
I hear you. Okay.
and we enjoy being around people. And it's like, okay, yeah, that person's fun. But have you
Okay.
stopped to ask God, okay, why are they here?
And to understand that who is in your life for this divine given season very much could be a divine connection today and a distraction tomorrow. And
Yeah,
to be in tune with what God has for them on a moment by moment basis. Because like we talked about, people are in your life for seasons and reasons. There's bridges, and we talked about that a little. And
yeah,
honey, that'll be in my book in the future. We'll delve into that when that comes out. But the bridge and the person that's in your life between seasons, and to know that you can't take that bridge and extend them. That's not how bridges work. Bridges where I live connect over water between two solid pieces of ground. Okay. And so you're getting from one piece of ground to the next via that bridge. And so divine connections very much can be a season. And again, like I said, a stage and a phase
yes.
of your life. It's not a forever thing. It doesn't mean that just because they are not forever, that they're not God sent. That's not what we're saying.
That's right.
God sends people for specific purposes for a specific season.
Yeah. And even I know in that episode, I even shared about just even our family's transition here to Texas, because I'm not from Texas. Had no honest desire to live in Texas, honestly, but God said, there are divine connections for you 1,600 miles away.
There's that.
I need y'all to pack up and move, right? And just even being willing to say, God, send me wherever you need to send me to connect with the people that are tied to my purpose.
Wow.
There's not too many people that will pray that bold prayer because they honestly are content and don't want to move from where they are, whether it's a physical move, or professional move, right? It's not always just physical. Sometimes it's an emotional move. And and even a spiritual one. Thank you, Lord. Yes, right? In the same church for 30 plus years, and your spiritual head is hitting the ceiling.
Well, look at the time. Honey, don't get me started down that rabbit hole.
So that episode, yeah.
It was
sit down with pen, paper, your phone, be ready to take some notes on that one when you visit the episode on fellowship. That was episode 12.
And honestly, out of the 15 or 14 episodes, including tonight making 15, last week and today being 16, that divine connection, that in alignment with purpose, like if you all don't get to see any other episodes, I'm gonna be very honest with you. Everybody doesn't always have the bandwidth and the time. So very, very honest with you. If you can go back and watch episode 8, Foundation and Finding Your Purpose, and episode 12 of Fellowship with Divine Connections, those 2 episodes, I'm gonna be very honest with you. Yeah. Oh my goodness. That is going to transform your life when you heed to the wisdom. Just those 2 alone will impact your legacy. Okay. Right. If you can't go back and catch the 16, we understand, but get a foundation and know who to connect it to.
Yeah. Yeah. And honestly, just like with everything, like we've been saying, Ask God even what order to watch these episodes in, because you don't have to
Yes.
start with the first one. Just
Yes.
ask God, what order should I watch these episodes in? Because honestly, we easily spend 5, 6 hours on Netflix, right? Or Hulu or any of these others. It's
Right.
nothing to drop a whole day, right? Or a whole Saturday or whatever. And
Right.
we're just saying, use that time, invest in yourself
Mm-hmm.
in these episodes. Trust me, it's not about the numbers for us, it's not about the ratings, it's not about the likes or any of that.
Mm-hmm.
It is strictly and always has been and will continue to be about God using us to pour into everybody else and us too. Because trust me, we're preaching to ourselves all the time.
All the time. All the time. Yeah,
So,
but
episode 13, after Tisa, we felt the need to
flags
touch on
and foolishness.
flags and foolishness.
Honey.
Don't give the side eye.
Honey. Okay.
Oh my God. The
Well.
types of flags we touched on. And we
Hmm.
only gonna say a few here because we don't have all night.
No, we do not.
But we talked about lust, pride,
Mm,
which is a
mm,
big one,
mm, mm, mm.
gluttony, and that's not just for food. Sometimes that's for things,
Yes.
right? That can be a thing. And then untrustworthiness,
Mm, mm,
right? The flags in our lives that God holds up like, hey, you see this over here? We got a problem. We got a problem.
Flags leads to foolishness.
Mhm.
Absolutely. The amount of flags over our existence and the amount of foolishness that could have been prevented. I'm just grateful in both of those F's for God's grace.
Grace, grace,
That's it.
double portion of
That is
grace.
that is what all I can say is just I'm grateful for the grace because the amount of flags that I entertained over my lifetime that led to foolishness over my lifetime. I am grateful to be here alive and well because of God's grace.
Amen and amen.
Yeah.
Amen and amen for that. I would second that all day long.
You're gonna double the amen. Give me
Yeah,
you're gonna supersize the amen.
girl. So we talked about in that episode the ripple effects
Mm.
of foolishness. You know, sorry, y'all. We had to do a pregnant pause on
There
that.
is more pregnant pausing and rocking in this single episode than all of them combined, I will assure you. And when you watch these episodes back, you will understand why.
Right. Because it goes back to when we attach ourselves to the wrong people,
Ma'am.
or we stay attached for too long. Like you said, they were God people for a season.
Mm, mm, mm.
And then God was like, it's time to move on.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, no comprende. I don't understand you guys. I don't speak that. I don't speak that
You
language.
didn't understand the words that was coming out of his mouth. Okay. So
And
let's
God's
see.
like, okay, you're gonna be
Okay.
attached to everything,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
everything that this person has, you're gonna be attached to until you're willing to let go.
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
Right? The ripple effects of
Honey.
foolishness, whether it's our own or someone else's.
Mm-mm-mm.
Right.
We talked about in that episode, we talked about even before that episode, the amount of the flags and the foolishness, some things that we volunteered ourselves for, quite a few things we didn't ask God's direction or instruction on. But
Nope.
yet when the rubber met the road, we were like, God, where are you? I know you see what we're going through right now. God is like, well, you didn't invite me. to this from the beginning. So that's why you got what you got.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah. Was that the episode where you hit your head on the wall?
It might have been. It might have been. I don't know, y'all, honey. I had to lean it in. I had to. Was that the episode when you said something about people have good in? We see the good in people, the potential in people, and honey, whatever episode it was,
It was that one.
I had to up on the wall. Okay, God bless people and their potential, but let me tell you this. That's that's for God to deal with for me in this season going forward. I don't know about you, honey, but I'm not linking up to potential.
No, no, no. Because it's real easy to want to boo up to potential.
Can't
You
do it.
know, relationships, professional, in any form,
Mm-mm.
right? In varying forms. God is like, okay, but is it me?
Come on,
Is it me?
because it's going to result in some foolishness. Okay, trust me. Trust Auntie Tania and Win on this one. Okay, trust your cousins on this one.
Right.
We done been through enough. Please.
Yeah. Yeah. Never, never ever again. Never ever again. Learn some tough lessons, as
Honey,
I'm sure some
we
of you
see
that are watching
we
have.
seeing the flags. We see the flags now. We can see them. You know how old people in the country say, "I smell rain."
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Not
That
at all.
that episode. So I
Mm.
remember we also talked about basically the importance of, hey, pick a side,
Come on.
God's truth or foolishness.
Well,
It's like what you doing. Because you can't be straddling in the middle. So it's either going to be God's truth
one or the other.
or foolishness.
Mm. I'm gonna have to come back to you on it because some days, back in the day, some days just depends on the day you
Yeah,
catch me on. I mean, I'm just
yeah,
saying,
yes, yes.
real
But
talk.
but I learned too many hard lessons out of that.
Did we?
Out of
Did
those
we?
some days. Out of those some days.
Mm,
And grace
mm,
that covered and has me still sitting here in 2021
mm.
in my right mind over the times I chose foolishness over God's truth.
Because if we thought it was a good choice at the time,
But did we? Did we?
honey, I'm gonna just that's my story. I'm sticking to it. At the time,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oof.
there's that.
Yeah, another pregnant pause. Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mhm.
That God's truth or foolishness, that pick a side. Mm-hmm.
One or
Yeah.
the other.
And then we also talked about the I got question of why don't we avoid the flags when we see them? And the only thing I could say to that then and now
Mm,
is because we're selfish and we want
mm.
what we want when we want
Right,
it.
right.
You
I
know,
mean,
it is the enemy's job to make everything look so good.
come on, come
I
on,
mean, come on. Eve is in the garden
come
with
on.
how many ever numbers of orchard trees, and the enemy made that one tree look just like dipped in
Mm.
platinum. Really?
Come on. You've got a
It's like,
firm directive. Don't touch this tree. So the flag was identified immediately. Wasn't
right.
as if it was hidden.
Mm-mm.
Nah,
Nope.
that flag was identified, and you were instructed on not to proceed. Right? You got everything else
Yeah.
with that flag. And what do we go to as humans, honey? But the only flag in the entire garden.
Selfish.
Hmm.
Selfish. It all comes down to selfishness. Every choice that we make that
Come
is
on.
not a choice God chooses for us,
Yes.
right? There's no other. It's not gray. There's no gray. It's just selfish. It's selfishness.
Mm, mm, mm.
We want what makes us feel good. We
Whew.
want what tastes good. We want
Right.
what looks good.
Honey, all in that order. All of that. Just can I get all of that with a side of all of that?
Right.
Right. Ooh, honey, so I'm sorry. That's a little that you got the real and relevant from both of us in that moment. Can we
Yeah.
have all of that with a side of all of that? And
Mm.
and while we getting all of that, you know what, God, can you bless it too? Mm.
Right.
Now
Then
that's
got
the
the nerve
piece.
to pray, and then got the nerve to pray over it.
Honey.
That would be like Eve and Adam praying and blessing the piece of fruit before they took a bite.
Honey, because you gotta say grace. You know how we do. Eating what we have no business eating, but Lord bless it, Lord. Sanctify it.
Right. No fat and nourishing, and it's just full of saturated fat.
Come on,
I need you
come
to make
on.
it low fat,
You
Lord.
got a heart condition and you asking God to bless them ribs. Okay. Okay. Come on, God, bless them. No, that's called foolish and flag. Okay. On the flag. That's a flag on the flag.
So,
So,
anyway, yeah,
yes.
that episode.
Go back and watch it. It's gonna bless you. And I think I asked in that episode, are you a flag in someone's life? And who is a flag in your life?
Right.
And the introspect, because you know I'm all about introspect. We got
Yeah.
too many people in the world that's always out here criticizing everyone else's move. Okay. For me personally, when I am the queen of introspect, before I want to even approach the judgment of my lips on someone else, I am introspecting on me. And I had to think about it.
Yes.
God revealed to me the flags that are still, and I've done a lot of purging, honey, but if there's any flags that are still in my life, reveal them to me. And I encourage you all to ask God to show you the same. What flags are there? Again, we may not even realize them because it may be commonplace. It may be things that we think don't do any harm, right? But is it a flag?
Right. So
What's the
true.
ripple effect
Yes.
of it? Even if it's small, ask God to reveal it to you. Doesn't have to be something huge and monumental. It could be a small flag.
Mhm. And then after he reveals it, be ready to let it go.
Ooh, honey.
Because it's one thing to reveal, it's
Mm,
another thing to cut the cord.
come on with it.
You got to be willing to let it go.
Mm, mm, mm,
And I'm going to just leave that right there. That was
mm.
bonus. That was bonus.
Come on,
These last
Frozen.
5 minutes was bonus
Let
footage.
it go. Let it go.
I
Mm,
mean,
mm,
there's
mm.
something about that Frozen song.
It,
Just something about that Disney song. She sung it.
Disney is for adults, y'all. Please stop thinking it's for children.
Let it
Okay.
go.
That whole song is an adult anthem. Okay. Hashtag release.
Right.
Yes. Yes.
So then we walked into our
Episode 50.
first our
Oh,
first male
yes.
cast.
Yeah. 14, right? It took us 14 episodes to get to our first male.
Oh my
Shout out
goodness.
to Danny Strong, who was our first male on our fitness episode, number 14, who
Yeah.
is the professional bodybuilder, and he is our personal trainer. He's my personal trainer. He's my personal trainer, right? Uh,
Whatever.
Strong Fitness, shout out. So that episode was so good. I said it was a mind, body, spirit episode because
It was.
he not only shared fitness, but what led up to fitness and his story and
Mm.
his 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 vulnerability and his honesty and his transparency is what got me in that episode. For him to be able to share his heart from his tragedy to triumph, and Tania, just talk about his story.
Well, I will only talk on it briefly because we want everybody to click back on that episode and
Hmm.
truly hear it directly from his mouth.
Yeah.
Um, but we all three of us grew up together under his father's ministry. His father was a pastor. So we've all known each other since elementary
Kids.
age.
Yeah.
And like we said, grew up in church, had fun, had a lot of fun, and learned a little about God and had a lot of fun.
Yes.
But his story is just so powerful because I mean, truly, God took him on
Hmm. Hmm.
the most difficult of journeys. I just,
Hmm.
in all honesty, I pray that is something I never have to endure.
Hmm.
But it resulted in the loss of his spouse at the time,
Yeah.
and him ending up as an amputee from that loss.
Right.
And so, I mean, he was just honest in that episode. I loved his transparency, as a man
Mm-hmm.
and as a man of God, but just as a man, right? On, hey, I was upset with God,
Mm.
you know,
Real talk.
I was angry at God, and it took a while.
Mm-hmm.
It took a while to come around. And so, like you said, he definitely touched on, I mean, mind, body, and soul
Yeah.
wellness, right? Because all those things, God desires for us to be well in all those things,
Right. Right.
right?
Wholeness.
Yeah.
Mm.
So it was just so great just to sit down and talk with him. And he gave some amazing fitness tips in there. It
He
wasn't all
did. He did.
he did. It wasn't just all about, his story, although that was just so on point. But he did give some amazing fitness tips for those of us that might be working from home right now. You might find yourself doing a lot of sitting,
Mm-hmm.
at a desk or at a computer. And he even gave some great exercises,
I
right?
mean, with
To
just some
still
free
be
weights.
working out.
Yeah, absolutely. Just some simple free weights. He just showed
Mhm.
how to do some basic exercises right at your home. So go
Right.
back and watch that episode. It's going to bless you. You may shed a few tears and then you're going to get inspired to move your body.
Right. And he does actually have a gym, like Gwen said. So we posted his link in the comments. But
Yes.
he has said, even on the episode the other week, that he's open to any questions anybody might have. So you can feel free to contact him, let him know, hey, saw you on the Listen with Tania and Win show. So he knows. But
Mm-hmm.
um, great, amazing person. Such a great episode. Um, I know we had asked the question, the I got question, one of the I got questions that night was, why do we eat trash, work out, and then expect results?
That's the truth, right? Stop it. Stop it. Not going to work. Okay? Just stop. Just stop. And you can't eat trash or unclean, let's just say that, or unhealthy, or whatever
Unhealthy,
term
yeah.
you'd like to use, okay? Low nutritional content, right? All of those things we call live food versus dead foods, and then go work out once and think that that's going to resolve. It's not.
No.
Nutrition, I'm glad that he hit on, and I talk about it all the time. And in my release journey of releasing 160 pounds, which is like a whole nother person because it was a whole nother
It,
person.
it is a whole. It
It
is a
was.
whole
It
person.
is and it
Yeah.
was. But we digress. Because
Yeah.
again, that's what the flags and foolishness episode that was before. So
Right.
anywho, so that is letting you know nutrition is the key. It's like an iceberg. It's what's hidden under the water. And to know that what you see above, that's what you do with the toning and the building of the muscle and really, the cardio and the things of that nature. But nutrition is the base of every successful release of weight, if that's what you desire to do. And so I'm glad that he touched on that. So definitely get your fruits and veggies and your water in daily.
Yeah. And he talked about, speaking of that daily, he even talked about the importance, of consistency.
Absolutely.
Just being consistent in whatever in whatever your journey is to health and wellness,
Yeah.
right? Because it's not about being skinny, it's
No.
just about being healthy.
Wellness. Yeah.
Right. And so just being consistent in that, creating a routine that is consistent. And if you find that you're struggling with consistency, ask God to show you the why,
Mm.
because it may be you're eating from your emotions.
Well.
Because us as women, we're famous for doing that, eating
Mhm.
based on our emotions. But that consistency piece, and even once again, right, the ripple effect. So, what type of legacy are you showing your children and future generations of how to care for the temple that God gave us,
Mhm.
right?
Absolutely. And do people understand that their body is not their own, right? And their body is a
Right.
temple. I don't know that everyone gets that, right? So, when they want to do what they want to do with their bodies,
Hmm.
it's taken us years to get to that point of revelation to just, hmm, what is it should I do with it? Right.
Right.
Because you're out here doing any and everything with your body that you have no business doing. We're going to leave it at that.
Literally, sometimes,
Yes,
literally.
yes. What's the impact of that? So, yeah, this was a phenomenal episode, and him being the first male, and also being, a fellow PK, and what it will be
Yes.
like having parents in ministry. We're gonna circle back to that, coming soon. That'll be something we'll be addressing. Because it's no joke when your parent is in ministry. So it's that's a whole nother ball of wax and a conversation for another day. But it was just good to be able to have.
Maybe season two. Maybe
Yeah,
season two. As
yeah,
God leads. As God leads. We'll see.
yeah. So yeah, check him out online. He's on all the social media platforms, and definitely be encouraged and be inspired.
Yeah, for sure. So that led up to last week. Last week's episode. So great. What a way to
Mm,
close out our season.
honey.
Last week's episode, y'all, was on fatherhood
Yes.
in honor of Father's Day the
Mm.
other week, on Sunday actually. And we had the privilege of having our fathers in the studio. And I apologize that I can't say that without laughing.
You always laugh when you say fathers. You chuckle a little, and I give you the sigh and the pregnant pause, and you do the chuckle. I love it how we have our own way of connecting to just the word fathers.
Yes. So James and John Briscoe, the
Honey.
Briscoe twins,
The sons of thunder.
the bishops, as they are known, but as we have the privilege of calling them dad.
Dads, absolutely. Because
Our
we don't.
dads
I
were
don't
in.
even. I don't even. Yeah, we don't.
No, no,
Mm-mm.
no, 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 no,
Not at all.
no.
People ask all the time. We didn't know your father was a pastor. Really? Is he? I don't let people know. Really, really. Don't judge me and don't hold me against it. No, no.
It's like, no. It's like that's not what they are. That's not who they are.
Come on.
But anyway, we
Absolutely.
digress.
We
So
digress. We
our
digress.
fathers last week
Mhm.
were blessed us by being in the studio. And if you didn't get to watch that episode on
Mm,
fatherhood,
good.
so great. So
Oh,
much wisdom, right,
man.
Winnie?
I mean, Chuck full honey. The whole entire episode from beginning to end was full of wisdom. And if you don't know, um, if you haven't spent some time watching that episode and you haven't, please go back, watch it. If there's any males in your life who need a mentor, need a father figure, could use some wisdom and some insights on how
Yeah.
to be a better man, how to be the best self, the best man's called them to be, God's called them to be. Go back, share that link, Please, it's gonna bless you. Let me tell you, it's great for the women too because he gave some phenomenal
Oh,
insight. But
yeah.
the men, because of that legacy and that ripple effect, oh yeah.
Yeah. And like you said, yes, it would bless women too, because I know we asked our dads,
Hmm,
about what's it like raising daughters,
honey,
and what wisdom and advice do you have for fathers that are raising daughters?
your father gave another patience.
He did.
Yes, he did.
He
Yes,
did.
he did.
And it was necessary. It still
Absolutely.
is. And still is at times. Still is necessary. But yeah, it was just so good because your dad even touched on, some things from his heart that were just
Mhm.
so good.
Yeah.
Um, for
Yeah, I did good to
fathers,
only cry once. I cried one time. That was good because I had tissues scattered around like little teepees around me because I just felt like, you know what? This is going to be the episode that ruins my makeup. You know how you just have that.
hmm
I've done good this
yes,
whole season.
yes,
Oh,
yes, yes. And so they just shared about their experience, not growing up with our grandfather
right.
in the home.
Yes.
So if you know any men that can relate to that, being raised by a strong, phenomenal single mother,
Come on.
strong, phenomenal single women out here, single
Mhm.
moms out here, we salute you. Real talk.
Shout out to the
Um,
single moms that's raising sons. Because
yes,
you are
and godly
raising
son.
future, because you're raising future husbands.
That's right.
This is real,
That's
without
right.
having that male presence in the home, you're having to be both. And they
Mhm.
talked about that, how she was having, she had to be both
Right.
and taught them everything that they needed to know in and out of the home because she wasn't sure what they would need in their future. And I love that she prepared them with
Isn't that amazing?
intentionality to be
Right.
well-rounded men.
She handled it like a godly boss, because
Come
that's what she
on.
was.
Come
Godly
on.
boss, Grandma Sarah.
Yes.
And just like our dad said, they learned how to sew, how to
Hmm.
cook, how
Yes.
to clean, because she said, you may marry a woman that doesn't know how to do any of that.
Come on.
So let's make sure you know how to do that for yourself, you know?
I don't know
And
who taught my dad how to braid hair, but honey, he did it. He hooked it up. I mean, I went to school with clean parts, honey, and braids right on it. I mean, I was like, where did you learn this? You didn't have any sisters.
right, right.
Yes. Well-rounded men. Come on.
Isn't that the truth? So yeah, that was such a great episode. And then they even talked about just even the importance of a father's impact on his children and
Yes.
future generations, right? And my dad had those three P's that he put out there.
Come on, bring the peas up. Bring the peas.
He said
Come on. Beat it.
provider,
Mm-hmm.
priest,
Mm-hmm.
and protector.
Come on. That's the real PPP, y'all. That's don't be out here getting
Right,
funding. That's the real PPP. Come on. That's what you need to look for
right.
in a
And
significant other.
in a husband, yes,
Come
and in a
on.
future father, a priest,
Yes.
a provider, and a protector.
Who has some patience?
Yeah, with some sprinkles of patience for real. Especially if you're raising girls.
Come on.
Yes, that
Real talk. They
that
did
was
it. The
such a
wisdom.
great episode. Yeah, it was a lot of wisdom. Like that was full. That episode was full
I
of
love how
wisdom.
they talked about the men in the Bible, right? And your dad, I think, talked about Solomon. And
Yes,
my dad talked about David, and I think those were such great examples of men in the Bible, examples of fathers, and
mhm,
again, the ripple effect of those
right,
fathers.
right. So powerful. And obviously Solomon was a ripple effect of his father
Come
David.
on.
Both the good and the not so good,
Well,
right? So yeah, that episode last week, y'all, just take the time to watch it. All of the comments, you can actually still comment within all of the episodes we just talked about today.
Yeah.
So reach out to us in your comments. You can keep posting your questions in there. If you have questions from anything that we said in any of those episodes, we love to engage with you. We'd love to help clarify anything that didn't make sense, or maybe didn't understand, or maybe it was just a little too deep. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
can you take that down to second grade, like just a little bit, like help me
We'd
understand.
love to hear your insights, because this is obedience and what God has said for us, right? But we would love to hear your insights, for sure. So if we think about flashbacks, right? What would be a flashback or a favorite now, since we felt we couldn't choose? So I guess is at
And
this point, I don't think I
mm,
can choose of this last set of seven. Our parents, I would say, top the list for
yeah,
me. The parents, and if I had to choose a non-parental favorite, it would have to be Tisa.
mm, yes, I
Divine
agree with
connection.
you. I agree with you on the favorites. I agree with you on the parental favorites for sure.
Yeah.
And non-parental, it honestly ties for me.
Mhm.
I don't know.
It's
It
all of
ties
them, I
for me
know.
with Danny, Tisa, and Mama Sanchez, like because
True.
they each brought so much richness. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, like they brought their entire selves. Like
Yes.
each of them spoke and talked with us out of their purpose,
Yeah. That's so
which
true.
was why it was so rich and so
Mm.
full, because each of them were just honestly talking out of their purpose. So
Right.
yeah,
Yeah, this was
yeah,
tough. It was a little bit easier on the first six, seven, but this last seven,
yeah.
outside of parental, they're the wild cards. We're taking them out, but yeah, they were all
Yeah.
good, y'all. I can't. Yeah, I agree with you. Honestly, Mama Sanchez and on foundation,
Yeah,
and Danny on fitness, and Tisa on fellowship. The three together. You're right. I have to give it to you.
yeah. I
Yeah, that
can't.
was a hard decision.
Yeah, no, no. I cannot even, because they were so beautifully different,
Yes.
obviously in the topics, but what they brought, each of them, it was just so powerful.
Mm-hmm.
I mm-mm, nope, can't, like Lay's potato chips, can't have just one.
It's
I
true.
cannot have just one.
This is true. This is very true. Oh my goodness. That was
Uh-uh.
so those are our favorites. Flashbacks. I don't know. I don't know. Of all the flashbacks that are our favorites, I have no idea. That's yeah, we have a
I
lot of
think I
flashbacks.
think my mom beating me outside of the grocery store.
That might be my favorite flashback. Yeah, you know what?
My mom sharing that and letting the whole world know that she literally spanked me outside of the grocery store when I was little,
Yeah.
because I was throwing a temper tantrum
It
about
was
wanting a
warranted, is what
popsicle.
she let everybody know that it was warranted. That's
She
what she
did,
said. It was not for no
mind you,
reason, social media land. That's
mind you,
that's what she
long
said.
before camera phones and
Yeah.
cameras at the stores and everything else, you know.
She was like,
Um,
and you can get this sandal too. That's what she said to people walking by looking too. You can
right,
you want some of this also.
right.
Willing to share. Willing to share. That's what she said.
I think that had to be my favorite flashback. That was on the family episode, y'all. You want the full story. If you dare to listen to the full story. But that was on the family episodes where our moms were the amazing guests. What about
Yeah.
you?
Oh my God.
You got a favorite flashback?
Oh man, I don't know. There's so many of them. I think I was laughing. We were laughing our head off on the flashback of me playing softball and hitting the girl with the bat. That was a phenomenal flashback. And my father did let me know last week that that was a game he was not in attendance. He said because
I figured.
he got the call that I got ejected from the softball game. So thus and so, the ripple effect of not having a parent at every single game is subject to, the land on the hands. So,
Oh my God. I'm so mad that both of our favorite flashbacks involve obedience some way, shape,
that's
or form.
right.
It's like,
One being a beater and one being a BD. There's a difference.
I'm just saying, it's in
But
our blood.
nonetheless, all warranted.
It's in our blood. It's in our blood. What can we say?
Feisty as we are, we will pray for you, honey, but don't play with us. Don't play.
Mm-mm.
Mm-hmm.
No, no, because we're still a work in progress. So don't.
There's that.
Don't test the spirit, because I can't guarantee which spirit you're gonna get.
She gonna try the spirit by the spirit. That's what she said.
Exactly what we doing. What we doing in these streets, don't.
Oh my God! Well, it is
Testimony
Tuesday time.
Yay!
It is in that hour of Testimony Tuesday. Lord have mercy.
Just one.
Oh no, I just You know how you got to tap out because you got so much. I'm like, yeah, nah, just.
Oh, I can go first then. So, oh my gosh. Okay. So I had to go back into my email and search for when was the first contact I ever had with this amazing divine connection of mine. And it was September 26, 2020. I was partnered with the amazing Marcy McDonald in a women's dream launchers seminar, workshop. I don't even know what to call it. Honestly, it was just a divine connection all the way around. So we did not know each other prior to this connection. We were paired together by the facilitators of the workshop. We did not ask to be paired together, but it was all God.
I remember.
All God.
You were like, no, I want to be paired with the woman that I know. I'm like, everything for a reason.
Right. And the young lady that was administrating it all, she emailed me and she was like, will you trust me as I trust God that He is telling me this is who to pair you with?
Come on.
And I was like, well, if you're going to put it like that, fine. Yes, I trust you to trust God.
Divine connection, conduit from God to her to you.
Right. And the rest is true history. I just truly thank God for being obedient and being okay to say yes to that and to trust His leading in that. And she has been such a blessing in my life.
Right.
But I say all that to say, so we connected and literally have talked every single week since September 26, 2020. We have talked every single week in some way, shape, or form, whether Zoom, text, phone,
love it,
email, in all ways of communication. God has blessed us. The workshop is long over. The workshop was only for, I don't even think it was.
But its sole role was to be the conduit and connector.
Exactly. So I don't even know that it was 6 weeks long, but we have continued that all this time. We did it during a lockdown. God used us to pour into one another without ever having met physically. And so God just blessed us to finally meet face to face a couple of weeks ago. And oh my gosh, you would have thought, I don't know, you would have thought we were like long lost and just found out we were siblings or something and had never met Like,
I
I
love
mean, we're
it.
just standing outside of the restaurant, just like completely hugging each other. Like, oh my gosh,
I love it. I love
this
it.
this person, this beautiful,
Mm-hmm.
Jonathan to my David and David to my Jonathan. Just like, oh my gosh, God, this person that you have placed in my life to just encourage me. We both have seasons and areas where we struggle in our faith, and it's in different areas in our lives. It's not the same areas.
Right.
And so we both, at random times, as Tisa loves to say, out the
Out
blue,
the
right?
blue.
Which is never out of the blue. It's always
Never.
God. But we will at times when God leads us, we'll just randomly text each other, hey, are you trusting God right now? And that's our accountability question to one another,
That's so
you
good.
know. And sometimes it comes early in the morning to me. Sometimes God has had me text her at like 9 o'clock, but we do it when God says so. But to actually to get to physically meet her and us to just sit down and actually talk face to face,
Mm-hmm.
finally, after almost a year,
Right.
coming up on a year. And I'm just like, God, I thank you for this woman. I thank you for this woman of God.
Mm-hmm.
That's my testimony. So great.
Mm-hmm.
And Marcy, if you're watching, I love you. You're amazing.
That's so good.
I know, right?
I
Prayer with
I
each other,
love it. There
a
was
dedicated
I
prayer
mean,
partner. Because you and I are prayer partners. That's
yeah,
a given,
yeah.
yes. But then when God brings an additional person and anchors their boat to your boat, right?
Listen. Listen, I'm a piggyback because I had 15 testimonies. I told you, and we was narrowing them down to one. But I'm gonna have to piggyback off of your testimony
Come on.
with Tisa. The same
Yes.
thing. God brought her into my life at the same time that Marcy came into your life, and it's like amazing that is utilizing women who we never knew, who we met
Right.
virtually. It wasn't that we had a backstory with them. We didn't know them through other people,
No.
family or friends, third party. No, God linked these women up to our lives virtually
Yes.
last fall, and they have been true anchors in our lives. I mean, this is just
Amen.
unreal, the depth of these relationships that
Right.
we don't even have with human beings we know in the flesh that we didn't meet online. I mean, I'm gonna just keep it real. Can we call a spade
Or
on
or
this?
or some family for
Come,
that matter.
ma'am, I wasn't even gonna go down that, but
Well,
yes,
I said it. I said
okay.
it.
I'm gonna have to ditto your testimony Tuesday on that with Tisa. And when you all watch that episode and she explains how, I mean, literally, she applied for a job in 2 different places in the state and did not get accepted and was the highest where we needed her to be and was chosen because she was meant to be here, and how it was a divine connection, like you said. And I love it because we still haven't even met face to
Oh
face, and the layers and the of where we are, you just don't have these deep relationships from someone
no.
you have never met.
No, you can only have them in a divine connection.
Oh
It's
my
the only
God.
place they can sincerely exist and there be no shade, there
Right.
be no jealousy, there be nothing except the love of God.
Come on. And they're walking it through what we need them to walk through with in the same season. Her and I are dealing with
Right.
very similar things in this season where we can call each other because we're both night owls. And so sometimes we'll text or chat late at night, and it's just like, oh, you're dealing with the same thing. I mean, and we are crying and cracking up laughing until 1 o'clock in the morning. And it's like, this is unreal. It's unreal. How? I don't, first of all, you just came out the blue. How in the world? I love it, but it took a whole pandemic to bring these women. God used the pandemic to bring them into our lives virtually. If you would have told us 2 years ago, or even before the pandemic started, the guy was going to send us soul sisters via Zoom, I would have been like, "You're crazy.
Right.
That's
Right.
just not possible," right? You know how we are when we connect with people. We're like, "Who's your mama? Who's your sister? We need to know your peoples." No,
Right.
no. God
Mm-mm.
is showing us. He defines that all. When he sends someone, it's unconventional. It doesn't always make sense and logic to us because
Yeah.
he does not operate in man's ways, because he does not have man's small minds. And
Right.
he has the bigger picture. Like, right? We're playing chess and he's playing checkers. And he knows further down how we are in people's lives. So if you have a testimony, put it in the comments. But I'm a ditto your testimony. It's just the amazingment
So
of the people
amazing.
God's put in our lives.
So amazing. And I love how God has just literally anchored all of our boats together.
Come on.
Just all four of us together.
Mm.
We're out in these
Yes.
deep waters, can't see the ocean floor for anything,
Not nowhere. No people,
you
no
know,
shore.
but
We
we are out here holding one another up in the spirit,
yes.
and that's what it's about in this season. Is
Mm.
being connected to those people that can hold you up
Mm.
while
Mm.
you are doing what God has called you to do.
Come on.
You
Come
know,
on.
so good. I just,
I
yeah.
mean, do you have people in your life, y'all, that sails, or are they anchors? Please. I'm just
Well,
saying.
well,
I'm just asking a question. We skip right over. I got questions after test, but you know what? It's the truth. Who's in your life? Who's
because
in
we've
your
been
life?
asking questions all the whole time. We
Walk up
haven't
to people
stopped
and be like,
asking.
"Are you my sail or are you my anchor?" Mm,
Yeah.
honey. Well, y'all take that nugget for this being the last episode and think about that over these next few months. as we take our summer break, but it's not a break, it's just us working and focusing on some other details that God has us to focus
Yes.
on. But
Yeah.
think about some of these wonderful introspects over this summer, and stay connected with us.
Yes. Yes. We will pop up on a post from time to time. So, like we said, make sure your notifications are set
Yes.
so you can still connect with us over the summer. We're excited about what God did these last 6 weeks, and we're even more excited
Mm.
about what He has planned when we come back in the fall.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So, yeah, keep sharing us. Keep sharing us with people that God lays on your heart to share us with. You
Mm.
know, keep it going. And we love y'all, and we'll see y'all soon.
Absolutely.
Whew, keep listening.
Keep listening. We love you.